Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Speak English Like a Local by Conversational English Master. I'm Jack.
And I'm Emma. Welcome to 2026, everyone. Before we get started, I want to remind everyone that we're talking close to regular speed. So if you find the speed of our conversation a bit fast, you can slow down the playback speed on your app for the first listen. Then once you feel comfortable, you can listen a second time at regular speed to challenge your ear and see how much more you understand. Well, Jack, can you believe we're already on episode 4?
Time flies, doesn't it? And speaking of time, Emma, have you made any New Year's resolutions?
Oh, Jack, we talked about resolutions in episode 2, remember? I said I wanted to get healthier and learn to cook better.
I thought you wanted to get more organized.
Yes, well, that too. But I ate a lot of junk food over the holidays and spent all my time watching movies. So getting healthy and learning to cook better are my real priorities.
Got it. So, how are those resolutions going so far?
Well, I haven't really started yet. I want to do them, but I'm not sure where to begin.
That's not surprising. And you're not alone, Emma. Studies show that most people give up on their New Year's resolutions by the end of January. Why? Because wanting something isn't enough. We need a clear plan.
So what can I do to start?
Great question. Today we're going to talk about a popular framework used all around the world to achieve personal and professional goals. It's called a SMART goal.
SMART. That's an acronym, right? An acronym means that each letter stands for something, doesn't it?
Exactly. And by the end of this episode, you'll know how to take any goal, whether it's for work, personal development, or learning English, and make it SMART.
Plus, we'll teach you 3 amazing idioms that native English speakers use when talking about goals and planning at work.
So grab a notebook, get comfortable, and let's dive in. Let's talk about the SMART framework.
All right, Jack, let's break down this SMART system. What does the S stand for?
The letter S is for specific. Your goal needs to be crystal clear, not vague or wishy-washy.
Wishy-washy. I love that expression. It means unclear or weak, right?
Exactly. For example, Emma, your resolution to get healthier is a bit wishy-washy. What does healthier really mean to you? It's not really clear what healthier looks like because you haven't defined it.
Good point. I guess I could say, I want to exercise 3 times a week and cook healthy, vegetable-based meals at home during the week.
Perfect. Now that's specific. You know exactly what actions you need to take. Let me give you a workplace example. Instead of saying, I want to improve my presentation skills, you could say, I want to give 1 client presentation per month using clear visual slides.
I see. Being specific means you can actually picture yourself doing it.
Exactly. Now, let's move to the M in measurable. How will you know if you're making progress?
So you need to track your goals somehow?
Right. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. Emma, how would you measure your cooking goal?
I could say, I'll cook at home 4 nights per week instead of ordering takeout.
Brilliant. Now you can count how many times you cook. At work, if your goal is to improve customer satisfaction, you might measure it by saying, I want to increase our customer satisfaction score from 80% to 90%.
Numbers make it real. Okay, what's the A?
A is for achievable. This is super important. Your goal should challenge you, but it also needs to be realistic.
So, I shouldn't say, I'm going to run a marathon next month if I've never run before.
Exactly. That would set you up for failure. Maybe you start with, I'll run a 5K in 3 months, and then build from there.
This is so practical. What about the R?
R stands for relevant. Your goal needs to matter to you and connect to your bigger plans, what we call the big picture.
Ooh, the big picture. That's one of our idioms today. We'll explain that more in a minute. But I understand your goal should fit with your overall life or career direction.
Right. For example, if in the big picture you want to become a manager, then a relevant goal might be complete a leadership training course. Learning advanced Excel skills might be useful, but it's less relevant to that big picture.
Got it. It needs to connect to your larger goal. That makes sense. And finally, T is for time-bound. You need a deadline.
Yes, without a deadline, goals just float around forever. Someday never comes. You need to say, I will complete this by March 31st, or I will do this every week for the next 2 months.
So let me put this all together. Instead of saying, I want to get better at English, a SMART goal would be,
I will learn 50 new business idioms by practicing 15 minutes daily for the next 10 weeks. I'll track my progress in a notebook.
wow, that's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
You've got it. Now let's talk about how to use this at work with some natural-sounding idioms.
All right, everyone. If you want to sound like a local when discussing goals at work, these 3 idioms are essential. Let's start with the big picture.
The big picture means the overall perspective or the long-term goal. It's about seeing beyond the small details and understanding what you're really trying to achieve.
Here's an example. I know this report is a lot of work, but remember the big picture. We're trying to win this client's trust for a long-term partnership.
Or in a meeting you might hear, let's not get lost in the details. What's the big picture here?
This idiom is perfect when someone is worrying too much about minor issues. You're reminding them to focus on what really matters.
Exactly. Now let's move to our second idiom. Get your ducks in a row.
Ducks? You mean like the bird?
Yep.
Oh, I love this one. It creates such a funny mental picture. I imagine little ducks all lined up perfectly.
It means to get organized and prepared before starting something important. You're making sure everything is organized.
So, if your boss says, let's get our ducks in a row before the product launch, they mean, let's make sure we have everything organized. The marketing materials, the budget, the team assignments before we begin.
Right? You might also say, I need to get my ducks in a row before I ask for that promotion. I first want to prepare my portfolio and update my resume.
Yes, it's all about preparation and organization. And finally, our third idiom is hit the ground running.
This means to start something with high energy and immediate success. No slow start, no learning curve. You're ready from day one.
For example, I'm finishing my training this week so I can hit the ground running when I start my new role on Monday.
Or, we don't have time for a slow start. We need to hit the ground running with this project.
This idiom shows confidence and readiness. Your manager will love hearing this.
Absolutely. Now let's hear all 3 idioms in a workplace conversation. Emma, I'll be the manager and you're the employee. Ready?
Ready and action!
So, Emma, I hear you're taking on the new client account. Are you prepared?
Absolutely. I've been getting my ducks in a row all week. I've reviewed all their previous projects, met with the team, and prepared the presentation. I've really focused the slide deck on the big picture, how we can build a long-term relationship with the client to boost their success, not just complete one project.
That's exactly the attitude we need. When is the presentation?
It's on Monday, and once we secure an agreement, my team is ready to hit the ground running.
Perfect. I'm confident you'll do great, but if you want some feedback, I'm happy to take a look at the presentation.
That would be great. Thanks, Jack.
And scene.
You see how natural those idioms sound in conversation?
And they show you're professional, organized, and focused.
Exactly. Now, let's apply everything we've learned today.
Okay, everyone, let's get practical. We've learned about SMART goals and 3 powerful idioms. Now, how do you actually use this at work?
Let's imagine you're having your annual review with your manager. They ask, what are your goals for this year? This is your chance to shine.
Here's what you might say. I want to develop my leadership skills so I can take on more responsibility. Specifically, I plan to complete a management training course by June and lead at least 2 team projects this quarter. This fits the big picture of growing in my career and eventually moving into a supervisory role.
Beautiful. You used a SMART goal and included the big picture naturally.
Or imagine you're starting a new job. Your new boss asks, how are you feeling about starting next week? You could say, I'm excited. I've been getting my ducks in a row. I've read all the onboarding materials and studied your systems. I'm ready to hit the ground running on day 1.
Your boss would be so impressed.
Now, let's talk about using SMART goals for learning English. Many of you listening have a resolution to improve your English this year. Let's make it SMART.
A wishy-washy goal would be, I want to speak English better, but a SMART goal might be,
I will improve my conversational English by listening to this podcast every week and practicing the idioms with a language partner for 30 minutes a week. By March, I will be able to use 20 new idioms in real conversations.
That's specific. You know what actions to take. It's also measurable. You can count the idioms and track your practice sessions. It's clearly achievable. After all, 30 minutes a week is realistic, and it's relevant because it helps you speak more naturally. Finally, it's time-bound because you have a March deadline.
Here's a tip. Write your SMART goals down. Put them somewhere you'll see them every day. Your bathroom mirror, your desk, your phone's home screen.
And here's another tip. Tell someone about your goals. When you share your goals with a friend or colleague, you're more likely to follow through.
Accountability is powerful. You might even say to your friend, I want to get my ducks in a row with my career goals. Can I share them with you and check in monthly?
I love that. But before we wrap up, let's practice these idioms together. Jack, can you lead us through?
Absolutely. Everyone listening, we're going to say each idiom twice. Listen to us first, then repeat out loud. Ready? Here we go. The big picture.
And repeat. We need to stay focused on the big picture.
Great job. Next one. Get your ducks in a row.
And repeat. I need to get my ducks in a row for tomorrow's meeting. And finally, the last one, hit the ground running.
Now you. I'm ready to hit the ground running on my English conversation study.
Perfect. You're sounding more like a local already. Now let's give you a challenge for the week.
All right, everyone, here's your challenge. We want you to create one SMART goal, just one.
It can be about work, learning English, health, anything. But make sure it includes all 5 elements: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Write it down, say it out loud, and then take the first step toward achieving it this week. Once you have it, write it down and keep it with you as a reminder.
And here's a bonus challenge. Use one of today's 3 idioms in a real conversation. Try the big picture, get your ducks in a row, or hit the ground running with a colleague or friend.
Don't worry if it feels awkward at first. That's normal. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes.
Remember, the beginning of the year is the perfect time for this. Everyone is thinking about goals and fresh starts. It's a great time to improve your English conversation skills.
And you know what? Creating SMART goals isn't just about achieving things. It's about building confidence. When you set a goal, work toward it. And succeed, you prove to yourself that you can do hard things.
That's so true, Jack. And for our English learners listening, every time you use a new idiom or try speaking in a challenging situation, you're building that confidence.
So don't wait for the perfect moment. Start today. Get your ducks in a row, focus on the big picture, and hit the ground running.
Well, that's all we have for today's episode. Let's quickly review what we learned.
We talked about SMART goals. It's a framework for turning unclear wishes into concrete action plan that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
We also learned 3 workplace idioms. The big picture to describe the overall goal, get your ducks in a row for getting organized, and hit the ground running, which means starting strong.
And we challenged you to create one SMART goal this week and use at least one of these idioms in conversation.
You bet. And before we go, we want to hear from you. What's one SMART goal you're setting for yourself? Share it in the comments. We'd love to cheer you on.
And don't forget, if you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps other English learners find the show. Thank you so much for listening. Remember, learning English is a journey, not a race. Every conversation, every new word, every podcast episode brings you one step closer to speaking like a local. Until next time, keep practicing, stay curious, And don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how we all learn.
See you soon!
Bye, everyone!